All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings movie review. This is part of our 2022 Oscar reviews. We're in our third movie. We're doing Nightmare Alley. We're gonna do all 10 movies and kind of give you guys the breakdown of what we think about all of the Best Picture nominations. So we got myself, Tim Kramer, with Panda Alfredo, and Bryon the Grizzly down at the bottom, helping out with this one. So, before we get into some of the stuff that we liked and disliked, a quick rundown of what the movie is. The film synopsis: it's based in the 1940s in New York. Down on his luck, Stan, in winds up being a carny and becomes a mentalist to a man Pete at a traveling carnival. Using newly acquired knowledge, Stan crafts a golden ticket to success by swindling the elite and wealthy. Hoping for a big score, he soon hatches a scheme to con a dangerous tycoon with the help from a mysterious psychologist who might be his most formidable opponent. So, it's a very, very loose synopsis.
Really vague.
Very vague. It really kind of just sets you up for the beginning where he's down on his luck, joins the carny, and then starts to learn some of this trick, of being a mentalist, and then kind of starts swindling rich people. I mean, that's kind of in a nutshell.
All in like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's majority of what the movie is, and then it's the details, which we'll get into, and then the ending is a very Guillermo del Toro ending. Because if you've seen his movies, Pan's Labyrinth, he knows how to end a movie where you're like, holy crap. So, but to get into some of the good stuff we liked, why don't you start, Bryon?
I like the era. I thought the story was going really, really, really well. I love the mentalist aspect of it. I love how they show how you can read people, how you can figure out things in there. I mean, those things were really cool. The story for me was just really good, but it just changed so fast. Like, it blew my mind. Honestly, I don't want to get too far into it, but it just happened so fast. Like, it was just like going one way. I thought I knew exactly what's happening. I was like, oh yeah, I could tell exactly how this is about to go, and then it didn't, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
What do you say?
What about you, Fredo?
The thing I like about it was the beginning and the ending. A lot of stuff in the middle I didn't really like, but we'll get to that later.
Really?
Yeah. So I like the fact how he was, I didn't know how to take credit from the very beginning. I didn't know we're looking at a bad guy, good guy. I didn't know we're looking at a down on the luck guy, a murderer, or whatever. At first I thought he escaped for some reason, and then he, you know, house caught on fire and he's on a bus, and it just so happens that that little carny guy passed while he was going, and the carny was very observant because he recognized him. He just just made a U-turn and followed that guy into the carnival, and that's how he got work and stuff. But at the ending, honestly, I kind of saw it. There was a huge foreshadow in the movie, and I guess maybe everyone missed it. I kind of picked up on it. Jess, she caught on it very quickly, but it was a huge foreshadow, and we kind of knew where it was going to lead during the middle part of the movie.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, I like the beginning and the end. Everything in the middle.
I thought that
too. They could have took 45 minutes out of the middle. Honestly, there was a lot too much of expansion. It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
It wasn't too bad because I'm used to Marvel and stuff, but the fact that it was stretched out just a little bit too much, I'm not crazy about.
I think it was done that way to take your mind off of this ending. So he's kind of trying to slow play it, trying to take you one way, and then so you don't see the turn that's going to happen. So he's doing the movies, doing this stuff, and it's going one way. So you kind of forget that's where it's going towards. Wow.
Yeah.
Boo! Turn
all
off your
good.
cell phones in the movie theater.
Yeah, play that
Yeah.
the movie theater thingy.
Yeah.
Turn off your cell phones. but well, Bryan does that. Yeah, I kind of agree with Bryan with that. It's like I feel like the ending, there were parts where you're like, okay, but at no point was I was bored. You know, like right from the start, it was I was hooked. You know, because it starts off with, you know, I mean, obviously it's no spoiler. It starts off with him throwing a body in a hole and then burning the entire house. You know, and then you start to get little bits of what it was, you know, his watch, stuff like that, and then you don't get the full story of what happened until the end and stuff like that. But I thought the middle was really good because it really kind of sets him up and how the whole time of the movie until the very end, you're like, he's a cocky son of a bitch. Like, damn, are you just a cocky SOB, man? Like you want him to get his karma. You want him to get his upcoming kind of whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, I think I know what you're talking about, Fredo. We'll get into that in a second about the foreshadowing of how it's going to end. I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what is going to happen to him. I wasn't sure how they were going to get there though.
Yeah, how they were going to do it.
Because it was the complete opposite of what he was. He wasn't a drinker. He hated drinking. You know, he tried being the smartest person in the room always. He was pretty smart. But he had a lot of other issues too. He wasn't a good guy, but I mean, I thought Bradley Cooper did an amazing job as Stan.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, he was, because at first he didn't say a word. He didn't say a word for like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly,
does he not talk? You know, and I was really, really digging everything, you know, and then the great cast of actors. I mean, like William Dafoe, Ron Perlman, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara. Which, real quick, I know we're all sports guys. Rooney Mara is like football royalty. So her, I think it's her grandma. So her two grandparents. One grandparent founded the Pittsburgh Steelers. The other grandparent founded the New York Giants. Tell me she's not from money. So
Rooney Mara her name is Patricia Rooney.
No,
that's her name. Like, she's a Rooney and a Mara. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, when I saw Rooney, I'm like,
and Amara.
Is that Art Rooney's niece or something? When I saw that, I'm like, nah, forget it. No.
And she's married to Joaquin Phoenix. So
wow, that's a lot of craziness in one place.
So yeah, just the sports thing out there. She's got a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money. But she's a pretty good actress. So she plays Molly in it, which is like the love interest of it. And I thought she was amazing in it as well. Yeah, and it was just like really, really great. You know, David Streitham, you know, was Pete. And I think I was telling Bryan earlier, both parents from Step Brothers were in it. You had the dad and the mom, you know, that were in this movie. So I thought that was kind of like funny because, you know, like
that's cool.
That being one of my favorite, you know, movies. Yeah. So
I recognize the dad. I didn't see the mom.
She was the judge's wife. She
okay. Yes,
she had a big scene where she wanted to meet her son again.
Right.
But yeah, so I thought that was like really cool. But I thought the acting was really, really well done. Bradley Cooper, holy crap, wow, he was really good. But the story for me was awesome.
What did you not like?
Why don't you go ahead, Fredo? Because I felt like I was talking a lot.
No,
no, he doesn't want to hear my voice, man.
I was a little backwards, so Fredo could be his last thought.
I did not like. After they left the carny, they showed him in the future, whatever, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, and he's all rich now. He's doing like upscale tricks. From that point on, to the point where he meets the ghost, the daughter, and the judge was saying, I'm sorry." From that point, I could there was some interest, but I couldn't. I just couldn't see. I just couldn't stay into it, and I tried. Um, that whole section, I really didn't like. They could have, like I said, I think they could have cut some of it out. I think it was a little bit too long, a little bit too drug out. Um, I knew exactly what was going to happen, you know, with the drinking and the carny. I knew exactly what was going to happen with that psychiatrist because she said something herself that really piqued my interest, and I can't remember what, but it was something with she doesn't really trust people or whatever. There's recorders and speakers and mics everywhere, so I kind of knew that too, that she can't really be trusted. Um, I don't know, man. There was a lot of parts I think it was dragged out just a little bit too much. It could have been easily done and well put together under 2.5 hours. I really could think so. I really think
I
so.
mean,
I mean,
the movie was 2.5
Yeah,
hours.
2.5
It was
hours.
2 hours and 30
for
minutes.
some reason, I thought it was like
100.
3 because if it was 2.5, it seemed longer than that. You
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I mean, overall, I the bad parts was just that. You know, one major bad part, you see Cooper's Cooper. I who no, no, that's too many. No, and it's to the point I'm like, I'm eating. Where we're eating, Justin and I were watching TV. We were eating something like, oh my god, you can see his, whatever. And she's like, what, really? So, yeah, rewind it,
Oh,
rewind it.
yeah.
I'm like, what
Of
the
course, we're gonna rewind it.
Uh-huh.
Of course,
Alfredo said,
yeah.
hit pause. See right here, you can see
No, I
it.
did not hit pause. I did not hit pause. While she did that, I just looked away.
Take a screenshot.
Yeah, but yeah. Either way, I'm like, okay, Cooper, whatever, dude. You know.
Right.
But that's just, I don't know. I wanted to like the movie. I like Cooper. There was a whole great gang of cast in this movie. It really was.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
understand what he says about the length. I think that's what I didn't like about the movie, though. I felt like though all the stuff was important, like you need to have it in there. It was drawn out a little bit too much. Just a little bit overkill. Like we get he's a con man. I don't have to see it time and time and time again. I think
Yeah.
that was, but once again, I think that was misdirection. I think that was the reason why they're trying to do it, because they're saying, "Hey, we're trying to get you to go this way. Once you're looking at it this way." That's why it was so important that staying, not to drink, like, because that's going to be the exact opposite of where they're going to go. So they I don't trust people. That's because it's the exact opposite of where they're going to go. They were doing that to try to get you to go one way, and then they're going the exact opposite, and that's what they're doing. But in doing that, I feel like the movie should have been 2 hours long. After 2 hours, I think you start to lose attention a little bit. And I was fine. I was in the movie. I was fine, but I could recognize that when it's too long, sometimes you lose interest.
Yeah.
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 I mean, there's a part. I don't know. Like Fredo's talking about like cutting like half of the movie out. I don't know about that. Like I can maybe see like 15, 20 minutes being cut down, because there were a lot of repetitive, like showing he's a con man. He's a con man. Don't forget he's a con man. I'm like, I get it, but overall, man, I like right when Fredo said like he lost interest, that's when it picked it up again, because it went from one movie to a different movie. Because once he met Kate Blanchett, there was so much stuff that happened, because then it became for me like there's these two people that in theory do the same thing. One is a carny doing a little parlor trick, and the other one is a doctor that knows how to mess with your mind. You know what I mean? And it's like the difference between like, oh, you learned this on the streets. I went to school. I spent my life. This is what I do for a living. And she completely mind effed him so hard, and it was like,
she was a woman. That even helped out too.
Yeah. So I mean, that whole thing, and then other parts is like when she shows him the scar, they never really explain how she got the scar, and I like kind of stuff like that. So Del Toro is notorious for leaving a lot of like here's this big thing, figure it out. It's important, but it's not important that you need to know the details. So
Right.
so I don't know. I love because then it became like a battle of minds, and she lost the first battle, and then the whole everything after that. I'm like, what's her goal? What is her goal in all of this? And I wanted to know how Bradley Cooper was going to become what I figured, same thing, like what he was going to become at the end of the movie. And because like both sides, and then you just find out why she did the thing she did, which was very petty. It was just super petty.
Yeah.
like, oh, you made fun of me in front of rich people. Well, I'm gonna destroy your fucking life.
It's like the long game. He was doing like, oh, I'm gonna you win this little battle. She's like, no, I'm gonna destroy everything you're about.
And man, and I thought that was like awesome. But I mean, and then it kind of picked up, and then after the whole Judge and his wife, going to meet their son again, I thought that was good. Time out. Or what?
No.
Oh, all right.
Are you talking about the part when they're outside when it's snowing? Because I
before
think
that,
towards the end of the movie, that scene, that time, that's when I'm like, okay, finally some action, because he busted that dude's nose and like killed him.
even before that, where there was she's like, hey, let's go meet our son,
Oh yeah,
and because that's when the third part of the movie happens, because there's the whole first part where him becoming the carny, then him kind of getting seeing him rich and trying to be this person, funny or not funny, like God or whatever, like what Pete told him, like don't try to be God, and he was trying to do that. He was the spook show, that's what he kept trying to do. He was doing the John Edwards type of shit, like I don't know how you guys felt, but that's what I felt like. It was John Edwards just in World War II. It's like exactly what he's like. I feel an M. It's like, yeah, no shit, like and that's what he was doing back then. Which, can you imagine, like dummies were falling for it, just 10 years ago? Can you imagine in the 40s? Oh my God, people lost their minds thinking that. So but then the third part is when they went to go meet their son. I don't want to ruin it, but if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Because then after that, it's the snow scene outside, with the ghost, and then it went off the rails so fast and so hard.
That's why I kept on saying, like, how did it go bad so fast? Like, and then I was like, oh yeah, you plant the seed here, plant the seed here, and then all this stuff comes to fruition. Man,
it was just a bunch of decisions, bad decisions at that time, at that scene, because he could have easily like backed it off and said, okay, fine, forget it, or not even press his luck, because that's what he did. He pressed it. If he would have stopped it when he was ahead,
he
and
said,
don't worry about that ghost, that's it.
You're done. Away.
Right, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, he should have called it way back when she first called him out, and he had to like really dig in on her. Even his wife Molly was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you like go so hardcore on her? That's when he started like kicking it up a whole nother level. So and then the funny thing is, like, Kate Blanchett's character gave him outs, which I found interesting. She's like, don't mess with him. I'm telling you, don't mess with him. And then he still did it, so it's like she knew who he was. And she's like, I know if I tell him don't do this, he's going to see it as a challenge. Yeah.
That's exactly
that's what she kept on doing, pushing his buttons. And she knew exactly how, because once again, she studied.
Yeah.
The learned person. She knew exactly how he was going to react. And that's why everything happened. I mean, it just went to shit. It went to shit.
Yeah. Hard. But I don't know, some of the bad things for me was the length. There were some parts where I'm like, I started looking at my phone. A few parts, not too much. It could have cut at least 15 minutes, at least. But there was not too much bad stuff I didn't really like, not like. So do you guys want to talk about the ending? Just spoiler really quick before we give our reviews, because the ending I thought was amazing.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, let's live up to the name. Shit.
Spoiler Kings. So spoilers here. Before we move on. So he winds up like getting completely screwed, becoming an alcoholic. Cate Blanchett steals all the money he was working on, and she completely set him up to be this crazy guy. And he becomes an alcoholic, runs away, and starts to become this man beast called the Geek in the first one. And I'm assuming that's what Fredo, you said you thought what was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I saw it, and I saw the betrayal with the psychiatrist. I for some reason, to me, it was like, oh, okay, I know what's gonna happen. Okay, because they put too much detail on this guy and his geek, and she put
Yeah.
too much detail on everything. And by the way, Kate Blanchett would have got away with it with no problems at all, but she screwed up by telling him, "I love you," and that's when he caught. He's like, "What?" Like Stan, he caught onto it. He's like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" You know, and then that's when the whole ball of yarn just came loose. Right. So yeah, she got away with it, but she screwed up, and it makes me think.
I don't think she screwed up though. I think she did it on purpose.
That's why I'm saying it made me. Now it's making me think that she did it deliberately, just to show him, "Ha, I got your shit. I got your money. You got nothing.
Everything
like, I'm better than you.
I took everything that you wanted, everything that you loved. I took it away from you, and I'm gonna rub it in your face because there's nothing you can do about it. And I set it all in motion."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, man.
But I knew Kate Blanchett's character Lilith was gonna. I mean, also the name Lilith. It's right there, you know. But right off the bat, yeah. I mean, I knew she was gonna betray him somehow. It's just her wanting to help him so much. I was like, something's up with that. But him becoming the Geek, I knew that was gonna happen. I'm like, somehow he's gonna become the Geek, but how? And then you start to realize, I'm like, oh, he's a piece of shit. And then you realize he killed his father, and like, holy shit, that was horrible. Like,
the way he killed his dad,
oh my god, as he sit and watched him die and like freeze to death, you know, and then like, you know, cheated on his wife that he loved and screwed over so many people, you know, giving him false hope. It was just like, oh god, you know, and then finally becoming the alcoholic. But yeah, definitely I knew he was going to become the Geek, because like Willem Dafoe gave the speech on how to do it, and at the end when the new Carney boss was giving the speech, I was like, oh fuck, here it is. And I don't know, so go for it.
I was gonna say he knew that he was gonna become the Geek, and taking the drinks and whatever, he's like, you know, there was a shot he took, and then he looked at it, he's like, okay, I know where this is going, and he became the Geek, not forcefully, but he almost volunteered to be it. You know,
I think he gave up. I think that was him giving up, and that's what I'm going.
Yeah. When I think when he gave up that watch at the end, you know, he's like, here's the watch. Here's the one part of me that's me still. You know, here it is so I can drink. And then he tried to like kind of have one last shot of being this great mentalist again. And he pulled the Geek speech on him. And I don't know about you guys, that last part where he does the crying, laughing thing.
Yeah,
that was amazing. I thought that was like such a great way to end this movie. You know, it was like, because then Elisa is like, does he know it? Is he expecting it? Is he saying like you guys are, you know, like you guys saying is like, he's like, all right, I did a lot of messed up stuff. This is how I'm gonna pay it back and end my life. You know, so
yeah, it's it makes me wonder. Like, I think what you said, Brian, that he gave up. Yeah, he had nowhere else to go.
He had nothing else left. She took. She didn't just take his money or his career or his name or anything. She took everything. He just gave up. He was like, after that, he had no fight left in him, and that's why he was done. And he was like, well, this is what happens. And she did it to me, and I played my way into this, and that's what I'm stuck at.
Yeah. That's a really good thing. Like, I didn't really think like she took everything. She did, you know, she took his pride, his ego, which is what he was the entire movie. He was a very, very, very cocky guy. and very so. Yeah,
He's egotistical and all that stuff, and she took all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was like, that's messed up. And she knew what she was
Yeah.
doing. That's
Yeah. And I think she won. That's why when Fredo said like when she said sorry, or not sorry, when said I love you, and he kind of realized what's going on, and that's what I was like. He either can realize it later, or she can make him realize it now, and she can see it. And I think that's what her part of being this ego powerful, person is. I want to see you realize that I screwed you over. And that's how I took like that part when she didn't let him leave. She goes, no, you're gonna find this out right now that I beat you and I won. And
what a bitch.
And then the whole time I'm like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing it? Just because he called her out and made her look stupid in front of other rich people, she decided, I'm going to destroy your life. And I was like, damn. Holy shit. I mean, like something like that. It was like very petty, but very awesome in a movie.
Make you want to go apologize to your wife or girlfriend, huh?
Send out a massive email.
Hey,
like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't even remember what I did, but it was my fault. You were right. I was wrong.
Yeah. But that one.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say there was one scene throughout the whole movie. It really sticks out the best for me is when they came to shut down the carnival, and Stan got in the way, took the warrant, they snatched it back and whatever, and they were gonna take the girl back, because she was undressed properly or whatever. But towards the end of that whole little scene, like how you pieced everything together and told the dude is his life or whatever, blah blah blah. It was great because he caught everything up in a matter of like what, I don't know, minutes, and he pieced it together. So that was one of my favorite scenes right there because that shows how smart he was, and he catches on quick. So it was great. My only question: did he kill Pete, or did Pete die of alcohol or something?
I thought he killed Pete because I think they bring it up later when Kate Blanchett is like opening up the whiskey, and he's like, you flinched, and it smelled like the wood whiskey, the poison, and that's the only thing is like, so he did it, but also he admitted to it, so I'm assuming he did it on purpose so he can like, old man's out of the way, I'm the new mentalist. But I don't know what you think, Bryon.
I think he killed him. I think he gave him the wood alcohol on purpose.
Okay. Which kind of sucks, but it's another thing, it is kind of a little bit open for interpretation. Did he do it?
But the guy killed his father. I mean, he's that type of guy. So to get that chance, he would easily do those things.
Yeah. For sure. But it's just the difference between a parlor trick and a person who spent their entire life, in school learning the difference. So
that's the type of person you don't want to be enemies with. So you know that little nerd in school, say I'm sorry now.
All right, so let's get into our ratings for it real quick. So we do now, later, or never. Now means you gotta watch it right now. Later is whenever you get a chance. Wait till this one's already on Hulu. So whenever you have some chance, free time while you're washing dishes, whatever. Never means obviously never. Just skip it. Don't bother. So we'll start with Bryon. What are you giving this one?
I'm going to give it a later. Overall, I think this is a good. When you're not doing anything on the Sunday after football and you need to watch something, go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's I mean, you even look at these numbers. I mean, the budget was $60 million to make the movie. The box office made $35 million. Nobody wanted to go see it. That's kind of what it is. I feel like this was a very good, well put together movie, but it was a little bit too long, and you were going to enjoy it. But you're going to enjoy it like at home on your own couch.
Yeah. I mean, it came to streaming fairly quick. It didn't spend too much time in the theaters. But I mean, also everything else this year. So everything's but Spider-Man. So that's the
Smart
one
people.
out there. Yeah. So what about you, Fredo? What are you giving it?
I'm giving it a later also. Like Bryon said, there's no football. You're not into NASCAR. Baseball's on strike. You know what? That's fine. Watch the beginning of it. You take a nap during the middle of it. Wake up, and there you go. You got the ending where there's skull bashing, people running over, and some guy eating a fucking live chicken. So that's that's my take. I'll watch it later. I almost said never, but
Oh, wow.
I can't say never due to the fact that there are interesting parts. It does make you think. However, once again, I saw the curveballs coming, and you know that's why I say later, almost never. But I'm gonna stick to later.
All right. Well, I'm going now. I think this was an amazing movie. It made you think, the same thing like Fredo said, and it's just, it takes you on a ride because every time there's a change in where it's going, it's a massive change. From Carnival to Rich People, that was huge, and then from the rich people to the crazy ending of it all, it was just wow. Like it was insane for me because it always kept me like asking questions, and I always enjoy a movie that like it makes me ask questions. I didn't know what it was coming. Like Fredo said, you saw the curveball coming. It doesn't mean it's not a bad pitch. You know what I mean? It's like it's still good. I saw it coming from the beginning, right from the beginning. It was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to know how they're gonna get to it because it was here's this, and he's gonna turn into this, but how? Because they're completely different, and also for me, Guillermo del Toro is an amazing director, and this is right up his alley. I don't want Nightmare Alley, but he's done other great movies that I find amazing, and this isn't any different. So I'm giving this one a now.
Okay.
For me, and then as of our ranking it, this is our third Oscar movie. So far, we saw Belfast, Coda, and now Nightmare Alley. So I know, Bryon, you didn't rank the other ones, but I don't think you saw the other two at all. So, but Fredo, where are you going to place the three movies so far?
Okay. Let's see now. I'm going to start from the bottom. Once again, it's Belfast. Then after that is it's somewhere in between of Drive My Car and Nightmare Alley. As for it's Coda. That's so far is my favorite because it has the more sentimental value of the daughter and the father. So
I wonder why you like that one.
You got to see it. It's pretty good, man. It's very good. I like it.
It is really good.
But really Nightmare Alley is above Belfast and underneath Drive My Car.
Okay. So we haven't done.
I'm sorry, not Drive My Car.
We haven't.
Coda.
Drive My Car is on the list, but it's not on here.
We'll talk about that next.
Yes. For me, Belfast is at the bottom, so not my favorite. I as much as I loved Coda, I'm gonna have to put that one right below Nightmare Alley. I thought Nightmare Alley was just a really, really well told story. One's a heart tug, sentimental, nice, family one, and this one is the complete opposite, a big mind F. So big, but I mean both I think were now. I for me, but I liked it.
Yeah.
So like Fredo said, next video is going to be Drive My Car, which is a Japanese drama that's getting very good reviews and a lot of early predictions. So if Bryon wants to join us when we do that one, more than welcome to. But that one's next on the list, and then we're gonna do two more every week leading up to the Oscars, and the Oscars is March 27th, I believe.
Yeah.
So that last Sunday in March. So we got a few more weeks to get all these other movies in. But anything else, guys?
No, that's about it, man. That's about it.
That Fredo almost said never. I am a little surprised about that.
It's just
me, man. I mean, I'm sorry. Like I said, I lost interest. It was prolonged. It was a little bit too long for me at times. I started to doze off. And in a movie like
Wow.
this, I couldn't. I mean, I was well energized. I was awake. I was alert, but I just couldn't. It was like, you go fishing, and there's sometimes you get a grab, but you can't. It breaks free. That's how it was. I couldn't grab. It couldn't catch my attention enough. And when there was certain parts,
Almost had
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I got you.
coming
No.
to get you. But yeah, Nick, like I said, like next, there are little parts of the movie that I'm like, oh shit, okay, it just got me. And there's parts that are like, all right, come on, let's move on. We beat this horse 10 times already. Let's go. But yeah, I couldn't. I don't like that stuff. To me,
I
it's more.
understand. No, you're wrong. I understand, but never is like, you know,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah, like
like that's a never.
oh,
Like,
but
do not.
you sitting watching it like, why the hell am I still sitting here? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I feel like this is,
No Man Land. I think me and Fredo both said that's a never.
Yeah, that's a never.
You know, like, that's a
the
never.
movie.
'Cause-
I was like, I couldn't finish it. I'm done. You lost me. Okay.
Yeah.
You lost me. That's it.
Yeah. That's for us, and obviously that won every freaking award last year. So what do we know? I guess, right? But yeah. You saying it's almost a never? I was like, wow, damn, okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we have different tastes.
yeah,
Different views.
it is what it is.
Oh, I agree. For later, I really do. I understand all your points, but I feel like the story was strong enough, and that's what made me say, yeah, you can do this later. The story was really strong. It was really good.
Right.
But I understand also that it was not action packed.
Right.
So I understand.
One thing I would say is most of Del Toro's movies are probably better to watch at home than the theaters. Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water, Crimson Peak. A lot of those are meant to watch at home. I think it's a better place to watch them at home. But then you got other movies like he did Blade 2, like, come on. But yeah.
All right.
So that's it from us this week. Thank you, Bryon, for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
We always appreciate it. And then make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to do some more. The contest is coming out this week, so we're going to get that going. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out. And we will see you guys later.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, guys.